Matt Hardy says he wants TNA to focus on story more than 5-star matches, which I think is more like AEW territory, where they're definitely more match heavy, versus TNA had always kind of been about the stories, and WWE, it just kind of depends on who's wrestling.
This was very interesting because Seth posted this in the chat, and also with the fact too, Dax from FTR tweeted to Matt about this earlier today. So it kind of falls and tails with everything else, which I find really hilarious, where Dax defended good old Uncle Dave and really kind of going on to say about the 5-star matches, but not the storytelling. And this is something we have talked about with AEW, providing consistent, consistent storylines, because we have seen them really pull it out, obviously, with Tony and Mariah May. We've seen it with Swerve and Hangman, and also with Orange Cassidy and Jon Moxley. And also, Matt's not wrong about this, especially with the fact with TNA, because surprise, surprise, there was a report over the weekend where creatives in TNA has been in question right before the lead up to AMC. And Dax and everybody else in AEW and just wrestling overall, sometimes it's better to really keep your mouth shut on certain stuff like this and just focus on the problem that's in front of you.
Matt Hardy is not wrong. No, I don't think he is wrong. We love our 5-star matches, but we all know what really drives these matches, and that's storytelling. And without storytelling, you can't have a 5-star match, in my opinion anyway. But TNA, honestly, leaning back into the storytelling mode is probably the glow up that they need right now.
There was a while where in like 21, 22, 23, Impact Wrestling was really good with the storylines.
Yeah,
what they were doing. Since the TNA's partnership with NXT, they've kind of been weaving in a little bit, and they're getting back to it with the invasion angle. But I'm so not the showdown angle. Yeah, and now they're going to get back to it more, obviously, for 2026 with the AMC and some storylines inside as well. Listen, I remember when Dax Harwood and Dave Meltzer were beefing, and then they've kind of settled the beef, I guess, after Dave bigged up AEW and FTR. So now they're like BFFs and possible source receivers, exchangers, whatever, allegedly. Yeah, but this whole thing is just wrestling has multiple genres, subgenres. Some people like 5-star matches. Some people like seeing the Hardy Boys crash through the Dudleys through tables. Wrestling is for everyone, and that's the reason why we have different styles. Could you imagine if every match was a 5-star, if every match was a table spot, if every match involved bleeding? Wrestling can be for everyone, but sometimes you have to listen to feedback, to positive, constructive feedback. And Matt Hardy, who was in All Elite Wrestling, so he knows the everyday happenings in the company, he's like, hey, you need some storytelling. And whether it's with veteran wrestlers, with newer wrestlers that you have to be introduced to, you need those elements in wrestling, because you can have short story to a 5-star match, a long story to a ho-hum match. But when you put all those elements together, and that's how you get good, cohesive, quality, palatable wrestling.